Hey guys, and welcome to another guide. This one will be going over just the perks that I have on all of my gear and how you can get them, how you get the components for them, just in case anyone is curious about the perks that I use. And if you don't have any perks, these are really cheap and easy and decent ones to start with. So we're just going to take a quick look at my gear and what perks I actually have. So on the power armor, you can see I have that Relentless 5 and Crackling, and I have the Enhanced Devoted and Biting. Those are more DPS oriented perks. And then on the tank here, I have Relentless 5 Absorbative, and I have the Enhanced Devoted and Crystal Shield. And those are just, again, power armor gets a little bit more damage-based perks, and the tank gear gets a little bit more tank-based perks. As for the weapons, we just have the Precise 5 and the Invigorating 4. These are all really, really simple to get with almost no requirements. So we'll take a look at the gate at Enhanced Devoted and Crystal Shield. If you do find yourself going for all of these perks kind of in a row, you're going to want to start with Crystal Shield, because of all the perks, you actually want to lower your invention level for Crystal Shield. All the other perks, you're going to want to use whatever the best invention boosting potion you have. So you're going to head to Wars, or however you're going to get to any of the God Wars Dungeon 1 bosses, or you can do like the Trollheim teleport. Really, anything that works for you to then make your way to the entrance of the God Wars Dungeon 1 area. And the reason we're going to do this is standing out in this snowy bit actually drains your stats. Now, if you do find yourself doing this, make sure you bring some food or an enhanced Excalibur or something, because as this process happens, it also lowers your health. But just so you know, when you go for your Crystal Shield, you want your stats drained, your invention level, the closer it is to level 50, the closer it gets to 100% success rate. So you're going to lower all of your stats, you're going to get them down, and you're going to open your armor shell, and you are going to load it up with some faceted components. You're just going to put in 8 of them, not all 9. You're going to take a swing, and hopefully you'll get it pretty much first try. If you bring your low level down, like I said, it will be almost guaranteed. Once you get your Crystal Shield out of the way, then you're going to drink your invention potion, and make sure you also grab a super restore or some way to bring your stats back to normal, and just chug on that until you see all those debuffs gone. Everything looks good and dandy. And we're going to now start on our Enhanced Devoted, and that is the same thing. It's the faceted components, but now at a higher level, it's going to push through at a higher chance of Enhanced Devoted as opposed to Crystal Shield. So you're going to take a swing on that, and hopefully you'll be good to go. And now for our legs, we have our Relentless 5 and our Absorbative 4. We are going to start with Absorbative, and that uses fungal components. And you're gonna, same thing, just slap in 8 of the 9. You're gonna take a swing. It should be a pretty high success rate, and you have that perk done. And then lastly, we have our Relentless 5, and that is just a chance to save adrenaline on abilities. That's kind of nice, either tank or power. Free adrenaline is free adrenaline. That's always beneficial. And that's the vintage components. And you are gonna, same concept, you're gonna just do 8 of the 9, and you're gonna take a crack at it. And now what I'm showing here is more likely than not, you're gonna get Relentless 5 multiple times. But I also have on the power armor top, I have Relentless 5 and Crackling 4. And those are gotten the same way with these vintage components, but it's a higher chance to get Relentless 5, so it might take a couple rolls. But I showed this because if you get lucky, you might actually get both of them in the same, and that will free up a slot, which is really nice. That lets you throw in one extra perk as opposed to having them individualized. It takes a couple rolls. I got pretty lucky, but just letting you know that is an option if you do want to just keep rolling and keep pushing for that. Next, we're going to go for the legs, and on the legs, we're going to start off by going for that biting, which is just a little bit of helpful crit, and you're just loading up on the precise components. They're super cheap, easy to get, and you're more likely going to get biting 2 cautious. Cautious, just so you know, doesn't let you have auto retaliate, so if you're doing this for like AFK content or anything, then probably skip on this or keep rolling it until you eventually get biting 3, because that also gives you a chance to have biting 3 without cautious. And the way you get these direct components is just spears, battle axe, pickaxes, super straightforward, easy to get. You can go to like Bob and Lumbridge and buy them. You just buy them on the GE. Really, whatever works for you to get them. And as for the vintage components, the way you get these is you kind of have 2 ways. You can either straight up buy the components. They actually sell them as a crate, and you can buy a small crate, which gives you 5, or a large crate gives 25, I believe. And that's definitely an option if you kind of have the money to burn and you want to just straight up buy them. That's definitely an option. However, I would recommend to make it cheaper on you is a much easier way, and you probably have them collected over time, is if you have a whole cache of artifacts. You can just dismantle artifacts that you have complete that you don't need to turn in, and those also will have a chance to give you those components. I'd probably suggest doing that, but that is completely up to you. And then those last components that we had, the fungal components, the way to get those is, again, super easy. You can just straight up buy them with Ganodermic. So you're going to find whatever's cheaper. Here we see the gloves are cheaper, so you're just going to buy those, and those give you the fungal components every single time. So you'll only need to buy like 2 of them, hopefully not much more than that. They give you your fungal components, and you're good to go. And I don't know if you saw, but real quick, we'll just scroll back for a second, because the most important thing when you do any of this is make sure you have your invention cape on, because that provides increased chances of receiving your components, and so any increased chance is just potential savings in the long run for you. So make sure you have that equipped whenever you're doing this process. And also, while you're doing this, you'll see, do not use the normal gizmo shells. You want to have the ancient gizmo shells. That's huge for making, perks. It's definitely something you want to make sure you unlock, and just for all things, it's really a good idea to make sure you don't just start off with ancients and don't use the basic ones. It just makes your life easier. And then we're going to end with the weapons. So for our weapons, we have invigorating and precise. We'll start with precise, and the way you get that is with these historic components. And the way you get historic components is same as vintage. You either dismantle artifacts, or you can just straight up buy a material crate on the GE, and you're going to throw in all 9. You're going to roll for it, and you're going to get either precise 6 or you're going to get precise 5 genocidal. If you find yourself doing a lot of Slayer tasks and you want genocidal because it increases your damage as you're doing Slayer, go for it. If you're not, make sure you can feel free to keep rolling till you get the precise 6. Then the other perk was our Invig, and the way you get that is you're going to put a few culinary components in, and then in the bottom left, you're going to put the stack of 5 organics, and then in the right, you're going to put the enhancing, and those are super easy to get. You probably have a massive stack of them and don't even know why, but those are really easy to get. You'll create that. Usually you'll get Invigorating 4 just by itself. However, in this case, I got a little unlucky. I got Inaccurate 1. It's up to you. Obviously, that is less damage. With the changes, if you're going specifically for Necromancy, it increases or it decreases your damage as it increases the ranks, because it's lowering your accuracy, and lower accuracy means less damage. However, this is just an intro perk, and hopefully you'll be changing it down the line anyways, so you also don't have to go for it again. But I would certainly suggest rolling for this until you lose the inaccurate, because especially if you're going to be camping this for a while, any loss of damage is obviously just not something you want. And the way you get the culinary components is you are going to make your way to Lumbridge. So the way you get culinary components, you're going to make your way to Lumbridge, and hopefully you've done, there's like the cooks, whatever the quest is that requires you to do the Culomancer. I don't know if it's Recipe for Disaster, like the full version. I don't think you need to do all of it, but the more you do, the more items you can buy. And you're going to buy items from this chest. And all these different items, when you dismantle, give you culinary components. And the more expensive the item, the higher the chances to actually give you the culinary components. You might have to buy a couple stacks before you get all of them, but that's how you get those. And it's, again, super straightforward, super easy. The last thing we're going to go over is if you found yourself getting lucky on the Relentless 5 Crackling 4, you got it as a combo, and instead of putting Invigorate on your weapon, you put it on your gear, then that frees open, one perk for your other weapon. And I would highly suggest going for Equilibrium Ruthless combo. You might just get flat Equilibrium. That's awesome. If you get Ruthless with it, also awesome. However, it's, again, super easy because it's time-worn components, and those are same as Vintage and same as Historic. You get them by either straight up buying them on the GE or dismantling artifacts. So as you find yourself, which is why I suggest dismantling artifacts, because as you dismantle them, that's giving you 3 possible components for 3 perks that you want, as opposed to needing to individually buy every single component. But this is just kind of a, if you find yourself getting lucky, or if you want to push to roll for the C5 R4, then this is definitely a great one to have on there. And hopefully this kind of helps out and gives you a general direction of where you want to go for perks. And hopefully good luck to everybody.